All right, let's get Maui Jim's ready to go. Well, today it's all about walleye, and it's with Dwayne D'Andrea of Mountain Valley Sport Fishing. What do we expect today?
Well, today we're going to target these walleyes. We know they're in the river system, so let's try to get after them with our fly rods. It'll be a new fishery, and it should be a lot of fun today.
And you were saying earlier, a lot of guys catch them on the jigs, and this is an adventure for somebody with a fly rod.
Well, that's right. You can do a dual fishery. You can fly fish for some rainbows and then switch over to the walleyes the same day. So it's just another option to do while you're here fishing.
Excellent. Well, it's walleye today on the Columbia River as we take you sport fishing on the fly.
Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you in part by Islander Reels, Precision Reels, Hardy & Gray's Fly Fishing Rods, born to fish, and the Freshwater Fishery Society of BC. Catch what you've been missing. Go Fish BC.
There we go. Fish on.
Fish on, yeah.
Well, there we go, Don.
Excellent.
Walleye on the fly.
All right.
Took the bugger, our good old rainbow pattern.
Good old rainbow pattern.
It's down in this hole here.
Nice. Beautiful.
Not that big.
Hey.
But you know what? It's food.
Oh, little guy.
Breakfast walleye, we call
But you know what?
those.
That's what it's all about today. It's all about walleye on the show. We're going to show you how to fillet them. They're all about keeping because they're so good eating. So when we come back, some more great fishing from the Columbia. Nice little walleye. Well, I've tried the green pattern for a little while. Again, it's one of these patterns we use up steelheading and for the salmon. But the walleye don't like it. And Dwayne had one nice one on with his traditional pattern, which is a woolly bugger. So we may have to go traditional, but not yet. Got another little fly up my sleeve. We'll put that one on, see how it works. Oh yeah. Oh, well, that's a good size one too.
Good.
Nice.
Found him.
Yeah, we found him, man. There's another nice one.
It's just a matter of moving the boat, getting into position.
Yeah, you just backed this up a bit. And there he is there. Oh, gee, they're heavy, you know. They don't fight so hot, but they're
just a sec, Don.
They're just heavy. I'll let you net them there.
I'm just gonna get this out of the way.
Yeah, you get your line out. And we know they're down here. Like we can see way down. What we're on is a big grassy and sandy shoal. So the river comes up, faster water. There's rainbow feed. Oh, there, the hook just came out. Barbara's hook.
Yeah.
And there's a rainbow feeding all the faster water, but the walleye sit all in the sandy stuff.
Yeah.
So you can show that guy up to everybody. And again, the show today is all about essentially the meat, right? It's some of the best eating fish you're gonna get.
Yeah. This time of the year, you know, we let a lot of rainbows go during the summer. So
that's what we do, catch and release for the rainbows.
Let's catch some fish.
But you know, that's the idea today. You're allowed 8 fish to keep, 8 fish each.
That's right, any
because
size.
there's so many walleye in here. The walleye, like I say, are stacked in this calmer water. The rainbows are in the faster water. So we're here for the meat.
That's right.
Take some meat, and a little later on the show, we're going to get Dwayne to fillet a fish up for you to show you how to fillet them, because there is a real art to it, a real trick to it.
I just wanted to show you how I pick these up.
How you pick them up.
See these pectoral fins here? If you squeeze in beside them, you're away from the spiny fins, and it kind of numbs them a little bit, almost like when you grab a cat by the kitten.
And you look at the teeth. I mean, look at the teeth they have. They've got nasty teeth, and you got to really be careful of the pectoral fin. It's full of spears. Yeah. There's a lot of bacteria and stuff on those spears, so you're getting a bad infection. So make sure you handle these walleye correctly. So we'll get them back in the live well, and let's get another one. Oh, it's going to be great eating a little later on. Come on. There, you did.
There we go. Oh, I had one too.
I missed him.
I missed mine too, Don.
Gee whiz, we found the hole. So I'm gonna explain a little bit about this with everybody. We've got a nice little back eddy. So what I mean by the back eddy is we've got the main flow where all the rainbow set out in the big current. The flow swings around and comes back actually upriver slightly, and that's what we call a back eddy. These walleye love the calmer water. They don't like the fast water. They sit right on the edge of those seams where the fast water meets the calm water. All we're doing is casting up into the back eddy, letting our fly sink right to the bottom, because you have to be on the bottom for walleye, and then slowly bringing it back. And I'll show you a little bit about the setup as we proceed here, but it's a special setup. Dwayne's got a sink tip on, but I've got a technique we use when we're actually salmon and steelhead fishing that works really good to get the fly down. You're not the most elegant caster, but it's effective. It catches fish. So we'll show you that a little bit later. But I didn't get a good drift that time. I'm going to recast and get a better drift. The thing about these back eddies, Dwayne, the flow changes so much.
Oh, it's in and out and around.
Yeah. The big looping cast. I'm going to take a moment, go through the recommended setup. When you're going for walleye, you have to be able to plant the hook really solidly. If you don't have an 8-weight rod, maybe you can get away with a 6-weight, but I recommend an 8 because you really have to plant them. They have hard mouths. You're using big hooks, you know, sharp hooks, but still hard mouths, you got to be able to plant them. So 8-weight rod, plus the gear you're casting is indicative of what you have to use for the weight of the rod. So as you're going to see, I measured a length of leader, about the length of my 2 arms together, which is about 5 feet. So I have my fly on, 5 feet, a 10-pound test, fluoro. Now here's the trick, is go to a swivel. You go to a swivel setup, and now there's these, they're little bag weights, and you can make your own. They make a kit for these little bag weights. You need a pair of pliers and a small heater of any kind that's got a little mini torch, works really good. You can make these bags, and you just put BB shot in there. You can make them so there's 1 BB shot, 2, 3, whatever you want. But the key to these bags is they don't snag on the bottom. If you were to put this on your line, the BB shots not only crimp into your line and wreck the line, they snag up lots, and then you have to break off your whole line. Whereas these are kind of anti-snag bags. Essentially, they just float along the bottom. I put on a 9-foot leader from there. Now here's another important part. You put on the 9-foot leader, and what I've gone is a clear intermediate sink. I want a sink tip line, not a real heavy sink tip to get it down where the fish are, but I want a clear intermediate sink, because what it'll do is allow that fly to angle. So my flying weight are on the bottom bouncing, and it's almost like I'm high sticking now. That line the dry line will stay on top and then come down into that sinking tip. So again, clear intermediate sink line onto about a 9-foot leader, down to your most important setup was your swivel with your weight. So the swivel goes, all the weights go on the swivel, and to the fly. This seems to be working very good today. And of course, as you can see, I just snapped that last one off, so I got a fresh one going. Oh, and I lost him.
Oh.
Damn. That was a
Risky.
nice one. Gee whiz.
I gotta get mine in there.
And I just planted them too. Oh, that's the tough thing about walleye. You gotta just let that fly bottom bounce along, and you have to feel, you almost have to high stick them, and they bite ever so easy. You just feel a little pressure on your rod, a little pressure on the line. You have to pull the set and lift the rod tip because they have such hard mouths. If you don't, you can't plant them. And that guy had on pretty solid there for a while, but he didn't quite eat it. So there's the current. I'll just explain a little bit how we're fishing. We have a little bit of current going this way, and again, the back eddy. So what I'm gonna do is, I've got my heavy weight set up because I want to get it down. Again, I'm just gonna cast it into the current. So now I'm just gonna let it sink. I've got my little weight sack that I showed you earlier. It's just 3 weights, so you put in a sack, it allows that fly to get on. It actually prevents or eliminates hookups and snag ups on the bottom. It just bounces along the bottom. So I'm gonna let that fly get right to the bottom, and then it's gonna slowly slide back through this pocket in the back eddy. And it's quite deep. And again, I'm just gonna slowly bring that fly back, and I'm just feeling for any takes. And again, they're very subtle. You want that fly bouncing on the bottom. You should actually feel the weight in the fly bounce along that bottom. And if you feel any pressure at all, you got to set it up. Because those walleye, they bite just very, very lightly. That was a nice one too, that last one. That had some weight to it. You know, potentially you can get 8+ pound fish. Dwayne was out last week with his jig. What was it, Dwayne? 8.2?
Yeah,
8.2 pound walleye. I mean, they're huge in here. This guy's fighting like a rainbow. I think it is. I think it might be a rainbow. What is that? Is that a big walleye? Oh no, it's a nice walleye.
Oh,
yeah.
beautiful walleye.
There we go, another walleye. And they like this pink.
They do, actually.
They like the pink.
I've been experimenting with different stuff.
Yeah, and this is a nice little wall. It's not huge, but again, another nice one.
Another eater.
Great little eaters. But each there, show them the technique. What we'll do is tell everybody a little bit about how the walleye got into the system, Dwayne. Maybe you can give everybody a little review. There he is. We'll put him in the live well.
Well, there's no water in the live well.
Well,
because we can't keep
we're gonna, just put him in there.
But, well, the rumor has it is that the walleye were introduced by accident into the Columbia River system, 30+ years ago, from a rearing pen that they were rearing him on Lake Roosevelt, and there was a breach in the pen, and they've been coming up here ever since.
Oh, really?
And the years kind of miss. Some years it's better fishing here, some years it's it's not as good. But there's always walleye, and this year seems to be a good year.
It is really good year. A lot of different sizes, a lot of bigger fish.
You know what else is good about this is because you can come rainbow fishing, like with the hopper that we always talk about, and walleye fishing, so you can do a combo fishing.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, we've got rainbow rising along here, but again, we're targeting the walleye. But another thing about this system is it's so big. It's a huge body of water. It spans all the way down to Lake Roosevelt down in the States. So I think everything could cohabitate. You've got bass down below,
right?
You
get smallmouth bass.
Smallmouth bass. We've got walleye. We've got brook trout. We got brown trout. We got rainbow, sturgeon.
That's right.
A rainbow. You got everything.
And the walleye aren't affecting the rainbow fishery at all. The number of reds in the river are going up in numbers every year.
Right, for the rainbows, which is a good thing.
Yeah. So I think the walleye are feeding lots on the
whitefish, squawfish, suckers.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why. If it's a big, diverse system, I think it can handle it. But if you end up putting a walleye in somewhere smaller system where they're voracious, they're predatorial, they'll go after everything, they'll eat it out. I think they'll take over.
Yeah. Not to mention the limits are high here. Eight walleye any size. That's a fairly high limit if you're into walleye fishing.
And people come from all over the world. We've had them over here fishing these walleye. People take out their limits and they just keep coming.
Yeah.
So it's a great fishery.
It is.
They hit good, they're heavy, but they just barely mouth it. You have to have a really sensitive tip in order to get them. And this one's another nice size.
Another nice walleye.
And they liking the pick rabbit, eh, Dwayne?
Yes.
They're liking it. So this is a special tie. You can get a shot of this guy. We got a little bit of pink and purple rabbit. Pink and purple rabbit with the purple body, a little bit of the head. A nice, again, orange head to it. Very good attractor pattern. And the walleye like that. They like the colors. I think they really like the reds, the pinks, the greens. They're all favorites. You can just check that out. But there's a fly. Dwayne's showing you. And there's another nice one. We showed you the fly. And there it is. One of my favorites, the pink and purple rabbit strip. It's got a little bit of a bead head, that orange bead head with the purple body. So let's go to the bench. We're going to tie up something very similar to this, or if not this pattern, maybe change the color, because I know they do like the greens and they also like the blues. So let's go to the bench, tie one up. This week on the bench, I'm going to tie you up a fly we call the Hulk. And you'll see why we call it that once I finish the tie. It is a great walleye pattern, so make sure you have these materials ready before you start tying. For the hook, we're going to use a size 4 Mustad C70 SD, some 3/0 black thread to tie with, a 3/16 inch hot orange bead, some medium peacock chenille for the body, some fluorescent chartreuse with black tipped rabbit strip for the zonker back, and some fluorescent chartreuse with black tipped rabbit strip for the collar. I started the fly by wrapping in my base layer of black thread. Now what I'm going to do is take my fluorescent chartreuse rabbit strip, and I'm going to measure it out about the length of the hook, just a little bit more, and pull the rabbit back and tie that in with a few turns just to secure that rabbit onto the back of the hook, and then move forward and take a few turns in front of the rabbit. Take a strand of your medium peacock chenille, strip off a little bit from the end to expose the rope underneath. Tie it in right at the back of the hook, and then move forward right to the bead and wrap in a body. And this body we want to keep thin. I only want one wrap over this body. just to bring it forward and finish off with the bead. Now that the body is tied in, we're going to take our rabbit that we had sitting back, we're going to pull it forward and tie it in right behind the bead and secure it in. Take a few wraps, trying not to get too much rabbit on there, and trim off any excess you have right close to the bead. Next step will be take our rabbit that we had sitting back and bring it forward, but first I'm going to wrap my thread back about 1/4 of an inch from the bead because I want to leave a little room for the collar we're going to put in. Now that the zonker back is tied in, we're actually going to move back to our rabbit that we tied in to the back of the hook. Make it about a length and a half of the hook. Cut it there. So now what we're going to do is form a dubbing loop. So I've got a little loop tool here. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to form a dubbing loop. And I'm going to loop in here. I'm going to put in my rabbit and form a dubbing loop. Now you want to keep this rabbit long. So when you put it in there, put it in the lengthwise and keep it as long as possible. Now that I have the dubbing, or actually the rabbit into the dubbing loop, I'm going to just tighten it up just to form a nice dubbing loop. And you want this hairs to stick out. You want them to pull out. And just keep pulling out any strays that you have as you wrap it up. And then wrap it in for the collar. And this collar is just really there to cover the thread, and we're going to actually pick it out at the end just to give it a flared look near the head. To finish the fly off, take your whip finisher and whip finish right behind the bead where you tied the collar in. And again, just a few wraps. You only need 3 or 4. You can head cement this. I don't, but there's an option you can. And then what we're going to do is take a dubbing picker, and I just like to pick that collar out. You just want a few hairs, a few stray rabbit hairs flailing out from right behind the bead, just to form a real small collar. You just want a real small collar on this fly. And that gives it the look of legs. So there it is, the finished Hulk. You can tell why we call it that. It's big, it's green, it's ugly, but it does catch a lot of walleye. Give it a try. Oh yeah, I waited that time, waited for him to take it. You know, that's the cool thing about walleye fishing, is you almost have to wait for the fish to take that fly, and he'll start, you know, he'll take that fly line out on you. Oh, and this is a good one. This one feels solid. And once he starts taking it, drill him, plant it big, and you get these nice ones. And this one I think is pretty solid. At least he feels big. Oh yeah, he's nice, nice size. Oh man. That's better. That's what we expect to get. Look at him flashing down there. That's a nice size walleye.
Beautiful.
Yeah, another beauty. Oh, right in the corner. Excellent. All right. Oh, look it. The hook just popped right out. Just like that. That's the thing about barbless hooks. Yeah, that's a better size, eh, Dwayne?
Perfect. That's about the average
so
size
watch
we
how
get.
Dwayne holds it. Now, right there.
Right in the
That's
packs and
the key.
squeeze.
Because you don't want to touch those back spines at all, believe me. That'll be a nice fillet.
That would be. Well, we're getting a nice little collection of food there.
Yeah, it's all about the meat today. There's a little bit of a trick to casting this line. Now obviously, nothing delicate about it. I've got a 3 BB shop bag on there and my fly, and both are weighted. You want to get this fly line out, and that's what I call the slinky. Allow it to just touch the water behind you and slinky it out. Try not to step on your line, that's all you're doing. Again, I'll show you. Again, slinky technique, keep it well above your head. So I'm casting back, just let it touch the water, cast it up and out, and just let it slinky out there. There's enough weight, once you get that fly and weight up into the air, there's enough weight behind it to drag out, you know, 60, 70 feet easy. So again, just make sure you let it touch the water just behind you, keep it high, and slinky it over you. So a really big open loop. Because if you don't, you're going to take it off the back of the head, and believe me, it hurts. So you don't need it, eh?
Not used to it.
Here's the master.
Not
The
used to
master filleter. So you're so used to filleting walleye, I think it's a good idea to show everybody how to do it, because there is a technique, and you don't want to ever cut into the guts, they say. If you open up the guts, they can smell pretty bad, or they can actually maybe...
Well, what you want to do is just get the meat off, leave the bones behind.
Okay.
And It's that simple.
And you
I'll
get a
show
nice
how.
little fillet from it.
Yeah.
So let's show everybody how you do it. Do you want the
Oh,
little fillet knife?
no, it's-
Ah, see?
Your gloves, I got the little knife. I use this
I'm
knife
like the
here.
young Jedi. I'm trying to learn. He's like the master.
So what you gotta do, again, being careful of the spikes, right?
Right.
Is go under this fin, right here,
Okay, so the first peck there, the very
on
beginning
about a
one.
45-degree angle.
Okay.
You slide it in there. Now I come up to the backbone. I can feel the spine right there.
Okay.
So don't go any farther.
Okay.
Spin the fish around. Grab onto just underneath the gill plate here where you've cut. Slide the knife into that area. And see, I'm feeling the backbone as I'm going down. So
Okay, so you're just working it
I'm
back
just
and
working
forth.
it back and forth, making sure
Okay.
so going back actually
Yeah.
keeps you on track.
Oh, okay.
So a little, and flexing the knife a bit.
Yeah.
I'm working it down towards the tail. There. And
Okay, now you don't cut it right through, okay?
Flip that over.
Oh, yeah.
And now this is a purchase so you can grab it and pull the skin off.
Oh, that's perfect.
You see,
So now you're just putting pressure on that,
Pull and
you
push.
pull it right off.
at the same time.
Okay.
And there's your little fillet.
But now you want to cut off the
Yeah, there's a bones in this.
in that
area
area,
here.
okay?
So what you got to do is you got to get in there.
So you do sacrifice a little bit of meat, but
Well,
not
you
much.
do. It's a stomach area.
Yeah.
It's bony. There's
You don't
not
want
much cooking going on there anyway.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you get the idea.
Yeah, just keep working around it.
Get those out of there. And
That's it.
There's the stomach.
Yeah. So that
That's-
goes with scrap.
That goes with the scrap. And
Yep.
this is what you end up with.
Oh, just a beautiful fillet. Now that is the best, some of the best white meat that I've ever had. I mean, halibut to me is one of the favorites. That's second in line only to halibut.
You can't go wrong.
Well, oh, well, thank you for the day.
Yeah, you're
Always
welcome.
enjoyable.
It sure
you know,
is.
we come out here. It's really fortunate that Dwayne's really close. He's 20 minutes away from trail up in Castlegar, and we get the opportunity to come out here when the rainbow are hot and when the walleye fishing's good.
That's right.
And I think if you want to come here, when would you say the best time for walleye is?
Well, walleye's anywhere from August right through to October.
Right.
It's a good time.
And you know, weather dependent.
Weather dependent. They bite at all times, but it's a fisherman goes. Maybe you want to be a fair weather fisherman and just fish in the nice weather.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
When you come out here, though, again, in that August, September, October time frame, you're going to have good fishing for both rainbow and walleye. So you're not just coming out for walleye, you get the rainbows.
That's right.
And it's really good for people out of town. Access Castlegar Airport right next door. Actually, the flights went by us all day long. So when you come here, make sure you take care, conserve our waters, and give Dwayne a call at your website.
At kootenayflyfishing.com.
And don't forget ours too, sfotf.ca. And we'll see you next time when we take you sport fishing on the fly.
Want more information? Visit us at sfotf.ca.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.